This short animation will show you how to turn decimal numbers, as if by magic, to hexadecimal numbers, which remember are based around powers of 16. Okay, the first step is to simply divide the decimal or normal or denary number, whatever you want to call it, by 16. This just takes you to tap the numbers into a calculator. Always use a calculator for this. You're allowed one in the exam, so practice as it would be in the exam. If you didn't use a calculator in the exam and you just try to do it in your head, even if you're good at maths, you're just taking that risk of losing the marks. So always use a calculator. So in our example, 243 divided by 16 is 15.1875. Step 2 is super simple. You just get the result from step 1, where you divided the decimal or denary or normal number, whatever you want to call it, by 16, which in our example gave us 15.1875, and you split it into 2. You split the whole number part, 15, from the remainder, 0.1875. When you remember this later, don't forget the point. Step 3, you just need to remember. You need to remember what characters represent numbers 1 to 16 in hexadecimal, which is very simple. You need to remember when you get to 10, we start using letters. So for 10 we use A, for 11 we use B, for 12 we use C, for 13 we use D, for 14 we use E, and for 15 we use F. Then you can look to see which character represents the whole number you got from step 2, which in our example was 15. So the character which represents it in hexadecimal is F. Step 4, you need to remember the remainder from step 2, where you were splitting up the result of the decimal divided by 16 into 2. In our example, the remainder was 0.1875. By the way, when I say remember it, I'm really expecting you to have written it down. When you've remembered the remainder, you simply multiply it by 16. Again, you should use a calculator for multiplying the remainder by 16. Don't try and be clever and do it in your head, because it's not clever to lose easy marks in the exam. So in our example, 0.1875 multiplied by 16 gives us 3. Step 5 is just to remember what characters represent numbers 1 to 16 in hexadecimal again. Again, it's super simple until you get to 10, and we start using letters to represent the numbers. And 10 is A, 11 is B, and so on until you get to 15, which is F. And then you need to look to see which character represents the remainder, multiplied by 16, which in our case was 3, and the character that represents that is 3. And now we're at the last step, step 6, which is simply to put the two characters together. In our example, we put the F we got from the whole number of the decimal divided by 16 with the 3 we got from the remainder multiplied by 16 to give us the hexadecimal F3. And if you can do that, we're going to be nailed on to get the marks in the exam. Let's just run through those steps again. Right, okay, so let's recap the steps you need to follow to convert a normal decimal number into a hexadecimal. So, step 1, you just divide the decimal number by 16. Step 2, you split it into 2, so you've got the whole number and the remainder. Step 3, you simply see what hex character represents the whole number. Step 4, you multiply the remainder by 16. Step 5, you just see what hex character represents the remainder multiplied by 16. Remember, if it's not a whole number at this stage, you made a mistake. Last step, step 6, you just put the two hex characters together. There you go.